I want to start this video off by saying that there was a lot more learning that I did using YouTube videos and reading online articles than what is shown in the video. And overall, there's a lot more hard work than is included in the video. So in February 2019, I went to the library, and here you can see I went and asked where I could find books about electrical engineering, and I found the section with all the electrical engineering related books at the library, and I stacked them all up. And I took a photo, and I asked the internet, which one of these books do you guys recommend that I pick out? I posted this to a forum uh, for electrical engineers, and I ended up picking Practical Electronics for Inventors. And you can see here that I started reading this book in February of 2019, and I was reading that book on the subway while I was on my way to work. And then I've included um, two videos that just show you some of the notes that I took while I was reading this book. I think in total, I went and read about, maybe 600 to 800 pages of this book and took a lot of notes down. Um, and then um, I reached the page around like chapter 13, microcontrollers, and the textbook had this image that I can remember, and it asked me, it introduced me to the necessity of coding when when you're using microelectronics. So that was when I learned that I had to go learn how to code. So here's the transition to how I started learning a program with the C programming language. I went to the internet again and I searched. I went to the internet and I searched for what sort of book I should buy, and I found an article on Quora, and I cross-referenced this with other online forums and articles, and this C programming book seemed good, so I bought it. I read through the book about 3 times and worked on the exercises in the book. And then in the spring 2020 semester, I took a C programming class at Montgomery College, and that really supplemented all of the learning that I had from reading the book on my own. And then by the end of this, I compiled a lot of projects and exercises, um, and they're on my GitHub now. And so I felt that I had learned what I wanted to learn, and I went back to the internet and I asked on a forum about a book that would teach me digital logic. And so someone wrote me back and they recommended that I buy Fundamentals of Digital Design by Brandon Vanisich. And they told me that there was a VHDL version and a Verilog version. And they recommended that I get the Verilog version since I just learned C. And so I did, I bought it. Okay, so up to now, I finished every exercise up through the first 6 chapters. And I plan on finishing the rest of the book. So everything that I learned was supplemented by the digital logic class I took in the spring 2020 semester at Montgomery College, and the digital logic lab that includes Verilog coding in the fall 2020 semester at Montgomery College. So I've collected a lot of projects and exercises, and they're also on my GitHub. And I've even tried a simple program to output a blinking light on a real FPGA. And so I've included here a picture of some of the lab equipment I bought. And I just want to mention now that when I have the time, I plan on using my laboratory and to continue learning. So, I'll just get that out of the way now. Around the time that I was completing the digital logic textbook, I decided to start learning electric circuits. So again, I went to the internet and I found a syllabus from Penn State that recommended this textbook called Electric Circuits by James Nilsson and Susan Riedel. So I bought that book and I started working through it, and immediately I remember facing a integral which had to be solved using integration by parts in chapter 1, and that made me realize that I really needed to know calculus because I was faced with some um, at the time difficult calculus in chapter 1. So again, I went to the internet and I asked a forum where you can get lots of help with all sorts with math, and someone told me about this website by MIT called OCW. So I decided to complete everything in the single variable calculus class, the multivariable calculus class, the differential equations, and the linear algebra class. And this took me over 3 months. During the summer of 2020, I spent the entire summer learning three three of these classes at the same time. I spent about 5 hours a day or more just doing math every day of the summer, and I finished about a week before the semester started. Um, and I learned a lot. So I included a video here of some of the notes, some of the books I filled up, and I completed every exercise in the practice sets. The practice sets came with assigned problems, only a few of the problems of the entire practice set, and I just did every single problem in the practice set for every class. By the end of this, I learned a lot. I decided to go back to the electric circuits textbook with the plan on finishing the entire textbook. Right now, I'm completing the exercises in Chapter 10, and I posted all the solutions up through Chapter 9 on my YouTube channel. All of these chapters have had in between 60 to 110 problems, and I've learned a lot. Everything that I've learned in this textbook is also supplemented by the class that I'm taking at Montgomery College in the fall 2020 semester. It's an electric circuits class, and this class has introduced me to computer-aided design software for electric circuits. And I find this software really interesting, and I think that's one of the next steps I'll take is to really learn about uh, how to use that software better. Finally, here is a picture of my desk, and you can see a lot of the index cards that I've collected that I use every day when I'm working on finishing these textbooks and learning new material. And I didn't mention anything about the discrete signal processing class I'm taking in the fall 2020 semester, nor the MATLAB that I'm learning from that class. But I also have some MATLAB code on my GitHub, and I am approaching discrete signal processing like I'm approaching other things, and that is that one day I might pick up a textbook on it and set a goal to complete the entire thing. So I look forward to learning a lot.